I'm sick of these other morons out there.
You know, he's kind of like, did you ever have a friend that, and it's probably you, but did you?
To his credit, he's great TikTok.
Are you just saying that because you think he could pick you up and rip you in half?
Yeah, just quit worrying about what other people fucking think.
The homeboys are coming for you. Hey everybody, you're kicking it with the homeboys, and this is another episode of Moron Real Estate. My name is Clint Wetherill. I'm here with my partner in crime, Mr. Scott Adams. What's up?
What's good? Let's we got some good clips I hear today, so let's see what we're in for.
Stoked. Let's get into this.
No matter what, when you make money, split it in half. Yeah. Split it in half right away. Don't put the money in your bank account and look at it as you got all that money, because you don't. Half of that money is not yours. So right away, put it over here. Create a account, call it the tax account. Put half of that there, so as you make money, you always put this money in the tax account. I never got to worry of giving the government their money, because that money's over there, and I don't look at that like it's my money. I'm never going to touch that money, because it's not mine, it's the government. So now off of my half, what do I want to do? I'm going to take another half. This half is going over here. This half is for my next real estate investment. I don't know what it is. I haven't figured it out yet, but I'm putting it over here, so when I do figure it out, I got it there to buy.
That's amazing.
Heck yeah, man.
It's amazing.
It's awesome seeing him, say that, because, I mean, it's identifiable. Obviously, he's probably the most popular comedian on the planet,
right?
Right now. So, I mean, on this show, we're always, it's normally us picking out the really stupid advice. I feel like that we get, and we hammer on the really stupid advice, but, you also have to say when there's some really, really good advice. And especially it's cool that it's coming from somebody, like that, because people can get behind it,
And he's so well-spoken and explains it so well. The truth is, this is something that you and I both do. We make sure that we have our money set aside for our taxes. We max out our 401ks, IRAs, and then my financial advisor takes the remaining 60%, leaving me with about 10% of my income to live on. So I live on about 10% of my income, and I know you do the same too. And it's just really inspiring to see someone at his level preach about this, because I feel like financial literacy is lacking. And so when you see people that really carry a message like that, who can get out and reach everyone, it's really neat to see.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's so inspiring.
It's really cool. I agree with, I don't have much to say other than the fact that I agree with everything that he said.
Yeah.
So
awesome.
Pretty cool. All right, next up.
What's more important is people should ask, well, Chris, what happens when the market downturns? What will you do? Well, we're always strategically entering and exiting the market. When the bubble bursts, I think that not only will this be one of the biggest bubbles of the century, I also believe that it'll be one of the worst bubble poppings of the century. I think it'll be akin to, what would you call it when real estate loses 50% of its value at a median home price level? Listen, it's one thing for a market crash to take $1 million house and $1 million home and cut it in half to $500,000, or everyone would suspect a $3 million home could become a $1.2 million house. But what about when your average typical American house loses half of its value? If people aren't properly positioned, it's going to be devastating. And people are going to feel over-leveraged. They're going to be upside down. Their homes are going to go back to the bank. We're going to see a huge spike in people returning back to renting. That size of bursting will probably take 5 to 7 years to clean up.
Oh, I'm in love. I'm in love. He's right. He's 100% right. And you can still be a successful real estate investor, even knowing that this kind of thing is not only possible, but likely. You can still make a killing in real estate if you are conservative. The people who are going to get slaughtered are the people who are leveraged to the hilt. These morons out there who are just preaching refi and pull your equity out and use your 401k, and you're stupid if you have any equity in your property and you're not using it. The people who succeed long-term are people like him, who are conservative. And I'm sick of these other morons out there who preach the exact opposite. This guy's a genius. Love it.
I'm laughing because, first of all, I agree with everything that you just said about this clip. However, I don't think our listeners know this, but I am much more a student of real estate advice being given on social media.
Oh, is he
than
terrible?
you are. And this is my guy that I attach my flag to as far as who I just disagree with on so many levels that it's mind blowing. And it's hard for me to say this because I literally agree with everything that he just said. You can say whatever you want to about the percentage and what the drop is going to be. That's all speculative and depending on what market you're in. But just for the value of what he said, I'm on board. But he's talking about over leveraged. He is the king of over leveraged, and we're just going to have to get on this.
Is that right?
We just have to get on this. He's always talking about pulling the equity out of. Do you have a 401k or an IRA or equity in your home? And he's.
So how is he doing?
I don't know. It's the complete opposite. He's
talking out of both sides of his neck.
He's kind of like. Did you ever have a friend that? And it's probably you, but did you ever have a friend that
I feel insulted already.
That, if there was a party that got busted when you were in college, that someone was the spokesperson.
Yes,
this is he was the spokesperson at his fraternity whenever the dean came over and raided the party.
I gotcha. So he's smooth. He can get out of it.
He's very polished. The guy's got talent. Yeah. And again, I shouldn't be sitting here trashing on him. But he gives some really, 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 really dangerous advice.
Interesting.
And I'll say this out loud so our producer can hear this because he handpicks these clips that we go through. That maybe you look into some of it, but very flashy. Talking about how he's got a six-wheel car, and he flies around on private jets, and he's in physique competitions, and bro.
That's this guy,
bro. Yeah,
I've heard people talking about how moronic he is. So I don't, I don't watch any of these gurus. Because I can't even watch them for 30 seconds without losing my mind. So I've never even seen his face before. But what he said, it's amazing to me that he could talk that far outside of his neck. Both sides.
I shouldn't have brought this up, but go home tonight and look this guy up. And listen to some of his advice. In most of his clips, he's wearing a shirt that just has $100 bills on it. I'm not joking.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious. I'm not joking.
It's weird.
But anyhow.
Great advice, though, in this one.
Probably shouldn't have got off on this tangent, but I disagree in so much of what the guy says normally. However.
He was 100% right.
He was 100% right in this clip. Kudos to you, my friend.
Well, if you guys watch him, listen to the advice he just gave there and ignore everything else.
Next.
Hi, I'm looking to get a loan on an investment property.
Absolutely. We've got a lot of different options available, and we have some great rates on 30-year fixed loans.
I was told to ask if it's a recourse or non-recourse.
Oh, well, that would actually be a recourse loan. But we do have some other options with non-recourse, but the rates are a little higher.
That's okay. I'm looking to build a large rental portfolio, and I want to make sure the loan's based on the deal, not my income.
Well, knowing this kind of stuff is definitely going to help you be successful. Most people don't know about this. Who taught you?
Those handsome guys at Two Guys Take on Real Estate, here and on YouTube.
I don't know. Maybe you can get more loans if you do non-recourse. Well, you can. But, they're at 50% LTV now, pretty much. And it's just more ways to get more debt. I don't know.
I'm not, I don't have a lot to say, really, because I don't know. I'm not always looking to over leverage everything, and I don't feel like it's about quantity of deals like everyone else. I'm more of a quality of deals guy. I will say this. There's a Chase Bank symbol in the background of this clip, and I don't know that they're the answer for investment property loans.
I can tell you they're not.
So
none of the big banks are. There's some lenders who are nationwide. So there's a select few that are really, really good at investment property loans, and none of them are names you would recognize as the big banks. The big banks they're just not into that. But the non-recourse loans are useful in some ways, especially if you're buying properties in your IRA. It's about the only way you can borrow and buy through your IRA. We are conservative, so we believe in just buying with cash out of your IRA, but I know not everyone's in that position. Otherwise, I don't know. Once you get to the 10 Fannie Mae loans and you start looking for non-recourse loans, there's a lot of other commercial lending options at that point when you've had that much success generally.
Right.
But yeah,
You're much more
true.
of an expert on the loans than me, so I'll just kind of leave it at that. But I know anytime, he's saying that he doesn't want to base it off of his income, he wants to base it on the deal. I don't know. I think it seems kind of creepy, to be honest. It kind of creeps me out. Like, I think that it's good having certain checks and balances in place. And if a bank is telling you that your income isn't sufficient for a number of loans, then maybe you should listen to it. I don't know.
It's good, great point.
Not all the time, but I don't know. It's we went to that whole stated, no doc, fiasco, 15 years ago. I don't know.
And you're also not personally guaranteeing the loan too, which to me is always weird. You and I do a lot of banking on development projects and all these other things. And I think the bankers are always surprised by our willingness to personally guarantee every single thing that we do. I take pride in that fact, and part of it is because we're not over leveraged. So why wouldn't I personally guarantee
Well,
it?
our financial statements look very solid.
Right.
You want our financial statements. We have it up to date at all times. We print it off. Here you go. It speaks for itself. You know why? Because we did this slow and steady, and 20 years put us in this position. So I don't know. Yeah. It's
a product that's out there. It's not something that we really get too excited about, and we have a personal philosophy of personally guaranteeing anything that we do. So I'm not scared of recourse loans. So.
Right on.
Next.
Don't go broke trying to look rich. That's one thing everybody's doing right now. They're going broke trying to look rich. So here's what I am. I don't care where you put the money. There's guys out there saying it should be real estate, should be the stock market. If you don't save money when you're broke, this is the thing no one's telling you. If you don't save money when you're broke, I'm talking about $10 a month, $20 a month. The crazy belief system in the world is that you will save it once you make more. If you have a habit of spending, you will spend more when you make more.
God, it's beautiful.
It's a mindset.
It is.
It's a mindset. We talk about it on this show all the time. It's a mindset.
Yep. From day one. Mm-hmm. We didn't start out as multimillionaires owning, millions and millions of dollars of real estate. We literally started out with nothing, zero. His dad wouldn't have given him 2 nickels because he wanted him to make it on his own. My family didn't have 2 nickels. And I started saving literally day one out of college, literally day one. And I couldn't afford beer. We were pulling coins out of couches to go buy beer.
For sure.
At that age. And we were both saving.
Correct.
I mean, it's a mindset. And once you have it and that money starts flowing, you won't believe when you start making big money how easy that mindset is to keep and the amount that you can build through that. But he is 100% right. I hired a financial advisor to help my brother. My brother said, I don't need a financial advisor. I still have college student loans. Let me get those paid off first. I said, no, you've got to set up the system. Mm-hmm. Even if you're saving $1 a month, you set it up. You meet with your financial advisors. You look at your financial health. I'm so disappointed in our education system and the fact that we don't teach smart financial health. And it's sad that it takes, everybody has to turn to folks like him, and to his credit, it's great TikTok.
Are you just saying that because you think he could pick you up and rip you in half?
Yeah, I'm scared of him. I'm a little scared of him.
Juice, man. Like, man, we're cool, right? We're cool. No.
All these alphas out there, they're like, invest in real estate. Flex.
But it's cool. I mean, you see, I know a lot of other guys that, have that physique and are, super ripped and flashy and all this, and, don't go broke trying to look rich. I mean, I'm going to dial that in and use that a lot. I think it's great advice. And
well, you live it. You live that. And I'd like to give myself credit. I live it that way.
You too.
And it's important. And I hope especially this younger generation listens real closely to this.
It helps me because I think people that try to look rich, whether they are or not, look like a bunch of douchebags
right.
Anyway.
Yeah.
And those are the people that
agree.
I don't really want to hang out with anyway. So having that mindset, it kind of works out, Yeah. But anyhow, good advice. Let's do the next one.
In less than 8 years, when I'm a millionaire by 25, I'll come shake your hand.
I promise you that statement itself made me 100% guarantee that you won't. If you really want to win and you want to come to New York in 8 years and shake my hand, here's what you need to do. You need to stop giving a shit about what anybody else has and realize that if you put your head down and just work for the next 10 years, no glamour, no new fucking car, suitcase, jewelry, trip, event, no Coachella, no fucking new fucking sneakers, like fucking work, you will have it. And every time you care about one of the things I just mentioned, it will slow down your process of having it.
I actually do know him. Normally I don't know any of the gurus, and he's so awesome though.
Amazing. Like I know him too, and I haven't seen this one, but
it's true.
Gosh, I can't stop laughing. He seems genuine, and I really hope he's the guy that on everything that I've watched, and I've read a couple of his books too, and I don't know, I'm a big fan. I kind of study what he does, and he seems 100% legit. And I mean, that advice there, I don't know the context of how he called that person out, but he's so right. And, and he just gave that person great advice.
The person who's going to be a millionaire doesn't need to get on a call with him and say, I'm going to come meet you and show you how rich I am. That's the person who's worried about the showing. And I understand that because I had to fight it myself through my 20s and 30s. I wanted people to know that I had made it. I don't know what it was that was missing in my soul to make me want other people to recognize how successful and smart I was. But I somehow shed that.
It's because you were single.
Yeah, that was a big part of it.
It was a huge part of it.
It was a big part of it. And then you and I have some mentors who are really down to earth people, and they really helped guide me as I became more of an adult. And life is so freeing when you shed that. It's not just that you will have more financial success. You'll have more success in every aspect of life. Quit worrying about what other people fucking think. Quit worrying about what you drive. It's all a waste. It's all a waste. You're just burning through money and social capital.
And it's empty.
It's empty.
So empty. There's so much more to life, than that. I'm thankful for that in our endeavors that we have really tried to better the community and God's kingdom, the longer we've been in business. I would much rather do that than pull up to work every day in a Porsche. It's that's not empty. We've got one of our employees this week being baptized at church. And we've mentored her, and that's the stuff that really matters. So you're right. Stop worrying about the flash and what everyone else thinks. But this is Gary Vee, and he's if you guys don't know who Gary Vee is, check him out. He's got a lot of books out there, he's a content maniac, and I don't know, I really enjoy his stuff.
So this was great advice.
So anyhow, well, that's a wrap on another episode of Moron Real Estate. We really agreed with everything today.
Yeah.
Pretty wild.
Pretty easy day. Not having to call anyone a moron.
Good advice. I feel like I learned some stuff today. I'm gonna use taking away from that. And that's the thing. We're calling out a lot of the bad advice we see on the internet, but we're not gonna turn a blind eye to what we think is really great advice either. And we're always learning as well. But if you are one of those jokesters posting that crap out there on the internet, the homeboys are coming for you. Anyhow, we thank you for tuning in. Please follow us for more content. Join us on the Homeboys podcast. You could follow us at the Homeboys Pod on Facebook and on TikTok. Until next time, happy investing.
Don't look at me like that. Makes me nervous.